What is up, world? It's your boy Ton, and you are listening to the Wonton Wealth Podcast. Here, I'm going to unravel anything and everything commercial real estate related. And more importantly, we're going to add abundant value. So if you're ready, buckle up your eardrums. In today's episode, we're going to shine a spotlight on the concept of anchor tenants. We're going to define what they are. We're going to look at why they're significant and what their impact is on commercial real estate. So firstly, what is an anchor tenant? You know, when we hear the word anchor, we're thinking, heavy. We're thinking ships. We're thinking keeping a ship in place, right? So kind of piggybacking off of that, an anchor tenant is a key tenant that's in a commercial property. Imagine them as like the main character in a movie. They're drawing in audience, which is your shoppers, and they're creating a bustling atmosphere. These tenants are typically large retailers or department stores. They are super crucial for attracting foot traffic and other tenants to a shopping mall. That's because of their brand name. They often occupy a really, really big portion of your space, in the tens of thousands of square footage. And because of their brand, they're drawing in customers. And subsequently, they are also attracting smaller retailers into that vicinity in order to benefit from that foot traffic. These tenants, they're usually established. They're usually reputable, like major department stores, supermarkets, or popular chain stores. Hopefully some of those examples are bringing up some examples or some thoughts in your mind. Because of their prominence or well-knownness, they significantly influence the shopping habits of your consumers. And once again, they encourage a lot of small retailers or even mom and pop stores to set up shop nearby in order to benefit from that brand name recognition and the increased foot traffic. When you're looking at development, they are pretty much the cornerstone of your real estate development play. They provide stability, they provide credibility, and a lot of visibility to the property, which at the end of the day helps increase the property's value and income. So that's why landlords often like and or rely on anchor tenants to be within their stores. And it's kind of a double-edged sword, but I'll go into the plus side of it for now. They play a really big role in lease agreements because one, when you go to get financing, they're a lot more they're going to be a credit tenant. So banks really like that. They know that whatever business they are, supermarket, national tenant, etc., they have a very low chance of actually defaulting, which means the loan on the property is going to be secure and or less risk. And once again, their presence will attract future tenants to the center, and hopefully then you have a really good mix of different tenants in there. And it's also essential to note that the success of your building is not going to be based upon just having an anchor tenant. It's going to depend on the overall mix of your tenants, your location, your visibility, and a lot of other market factors. But having an anchor tenant does help to a certain degree because they can shape a lot of the dynamics of your property. Once again, the visibility, if they're taking over a large portion of your center, they're going to increase a lot of traffic. They're going to create a destination appeal based upon the goods that they're selling or services that they're selling. And because of their name, a lot of times they can negotiate favorable lease terms. So it's really important for landlords, if you own property, to work really hard to maintain a good relationship with those anchor tenants. You really don't want to get on their bad side. Now, that's because their presence a lot of times create jobs, they boost economies, they contribute to the overall vibrancy of the area. So they are a key player in the commercial real estate ecosystem. Now, they're not just mainly you're going to see them in retail centers. However, there's also big national tenants that you probably don't recognize in the office and or industrial space. Now, the other piece that I'll kind of touch on, the not rosy side of having a national tenant or a credit tenant or an anchor tenant, is because a lot of times they hold pretty much all the cards. They can negotiate whatever the hell they want and pretty much just make you their bitch. It's essentially whatever they want to negotiate goes, because they know their brand is worthwhile and has a lot of value to it, which is why a lot of times when you're a smaller tenant versus like an institutional fund, etc., you're not going to have a lot of negotiation when it comes to a national tenant. So keep that in mind with anchor tenants. And that's a wrap. If you've made it this far, that means you've listened to the entire episode, so thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening from. And if you've learned something or found it useful, share it with one of your homies. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm pretty active on IG. My handle is pro_TANH. Reach out, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, or what you want to hear about in the future. I'm here to tailor this to you. Until next time.